First of all, review your offering alongside the EQ profile of your best customer. Those worksheets, they'll become your Bible. They should get dog-eared. So you're going after a particular explorer type. Cultural explorers, probably for most of you in the room, that is the key type here in the region. Review your experience alongside of that. Really identify what are those key motivators and such that you can be pulling out. Describe it as an experience. Think of all of the different senses. The deeper you can go into, and I don't mean really long, but the more senses you can touch in describing your experience, the more easily it will be for people to actually get it. All right? An experience is something that does appeal to all of your senses. You don't want to just be describing the features. You want to describe the outcome. Okay? And it's about layering. I think the next point. Yeah, you want to cover the basics. So I talked earlier about how, in fact, the web can be a great thing for this because you can lay out what the experience is on that top level, and then as you layer down, you're covering all of the basics. They need to know the basics, but the basics, the features, aren't going to be what pulls them in. Think about advertising. Just think about yourself and what you're drawn to. You're drawn to something that pulls you in. It's an emotional connection. Travel and travel experiences are emotional connectors. If you think about it, travel is one of the things that is truly a discretionary purchase. You can stay at home or you can go somewhere. Where you go and how much you spend is completely up to you. There are very few things anymore that are really discretionary purchases, and as such, a discretionary purchase, it's going to, what will talk to you, what will appeal to you is something that appeals to your core values. So if you're using the core values of the explorer types and developing your descriptions of experiences, you're more likely to pull them in. You're going to connect with them, and it's that connection that will move them along the path to purchase. And then review what you've done. Go back, look at it, does it hit? Maybe there's someone in your organization, if the person who's writing this isn't a cultural explorer, or isn't the explorer type to which you're writing, is there someone else in your organization that is? Give them the copy. Have them review it and say, does this hit you? Does this touch on you? One of the things we did when I was at IntraWest was we used to actually at the resort set up different consumer segment groups. And those consumer segments were in charge of looking at the overall customer experience for their segment. And they tended to reflect the segment they were given. And then they would bring forward ideas and thoughts and how you can better actually address the experience and or the marketing. So, use your staff. They may not be in your area, but if they're that explorer type, see if it talks to them. Does it make sense? Okay, I think we've went too far there. Go back. Okay, let me read out this description. The Hotel de Glace, the Ice Hotel, is anyone familiar with it? Anyone been there? Okay, haven't been there but familiar. Okay. This is a before description for the Hotel de Glace. With 36 room and 3 theme suites, the Hotel de Glace offers a host of ways to experience the incomparable thrill of a night spent inside an ice hotel. With all the intimacy of an igloo, our Hotel de Glace rooms become natural Nordic cocoons for the duration of your stay. Enter a magical world where snow and ice are transformed into fabulous decors made entirely of ice and snow. Hotel de Glace offers a contemporary twist to life in the far north. Inspired by Inuit igloos and the snow forts of our Canadian childhood, it brings together nature and city living. Given its proximity to Quebec City, you can also explore historic urban French Canadian vibrancy of the only walled city in North America. Who do you think that's targeting, just off the top?
Seems to be targeting kind of cultural explorers in a sense.
It does a little, doesn't it? Do you think this, though, is the kind of experience a cultural explorer is really going to want to go to?
No, probably not so much.
Okay. Who do you think it would appeal to? Yeah. Yeah. So let's try and rewrite this based on free spirits. So, free spirits, the highly social, open-minded, enthusiasm for life, all those sorts of things. So if we look, oh, it's not doing it. Okay. I thought it's supposed to point out some key things. So some of the things about free spirits. Experimental and adventurous. It's an experience that could certainly be positioned well to these personality traits. It's also luxury, hedonistic, rejuvenation, exhibition, checklist samplers. All of those things are part of their travel motivations. I think that's one of the reasons we actually thought this might work, those kinds of things, right? So looking at product appeal, on your demographics, it's on the second page of your worksheets. You can see that trendy and in the now and indulgence, they're all important. And then communications appeal. They respond to messaging that conveys social gatherings and speaks to stylish, heightened, higher end. Rather not heightened, but higher end. So it's that aspiration for luxury, and that flows through in terms of communications and its whole look and appeal. They like urban adventures. Edge of nature, sure, but urban adventures. Now, how has this been rewritten? Oh, decided to work for me this time. Okay. The Icy Urban Adventure, okay? New title. Feel like you're stepping inside a glacier. Marvel at majestic lobby where statues, columns, even chandeliers are made of ice. Slip on a glove to pick up an ice champagne flute sparkling with ice cider. Meditate in a frozen chapel. Canada's coolest hotel is a sub-zero adventure. Every winter, a new ice hotel, Hotel de Glace, is crafted with tons of ice and snow according to the fantasy of a different architect. Grasp at intricately engraved ice walls and furniture in magically themed suites that seem like visions from a fairy tale. Soak in a hot tub under the stars, slide warm into thermal sleeping bags in front of a fireplace. Dream away the night, knowing that when spring comes, every trace of this unique moment will melt away. So, can you see how it wasn't about product and features, 36 rooms, I mean, it evoked your senses. It touched on a number of different senses there, that write-up. That write-up also, just so you know, was only 9 words longer than the first one, but it sure evoked way more than 9 feelings. Even the pictures, now it decides, not so great pictures. No, certainly not for a free spirit anyway. This picture, you've got 2 of them there, fireplace, warm, inviting, looks like a great little escape for them, right? Could also maybe be a bit of a rejuvenator if they're going for that extra splurge. So when you think about the values that we were looking, off the bat, the title, An Icy Urban Adventure, addresses that urban and on the edge of nature kind of thing, an adventurous spirit. Luxury and hedonism are certainly well described and referenced, but even just the reference to the champagne flute, okay, a hot tub. Experimental and adventurous, the fantasy themed rooms, sliding into a warm sleeping bag. Okay, how many hotels do you go to that you slide into a sleeping bag? I mean, it's like, whoa. Trendy and in the now. Certainly the double entendre, the coolest hotel. A new ice hotel every winter. Oh, it's going to melt away in the spring. It won't be here. I mean, this is very now. And the tone of voice is very stylish, as is the picture. It's also, think about that tone of voice. It's almost a traveler talking to a traveler in some respects, right? So, let me give you, I've talked earlier about, it's not about laying out an itinerary. You want to be telling a story. Let me give you another example.